we're here with Odboy from Real Art Tattoo at the Tattoo Jam in Doncaster. How are you getting on, mate?
Alright, yeah, not bad. It's big.
It is big, isn't it?
Yeah. Derby.
And Artist Friday is it's quite unique to tattoo conventions. How do you find that as a day? Do you think it's a good thing?
I think it's a really good thing because, I mean, number one, most tattooists don't have time to get tattooed, so having a day where we can just get to know each other and tattoo each other is awesome. But the seminars and everything as well is fantastic because we can all learn from each other, which I think is really important.
Right.
You know, sharing is something to me that's only happened in tattooing in the last few years, really. You know, it was always very cliquey before, not passing on your secrets, whereas now, you know, events like this that are doing painting seminars and colour theory and stuff, everyone's sharing. It's really pushing the boundaries of everyone's game, so it's a great thing, definitely. Okay, great.
And do you do a lot of conventions yourself?
This is only my second convention as a working artist.
Right.
I've attended a lot, but yeah, number two, Derby was my first one this year. This is my second, so hopefully going to be doing a lot more though, because it's a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And a great way to get out there and get to know other artists and get to know the clients and everything. So.
And you obviously find it an inspiring experience.
Very much so. Yeah. I mean, from the other side, from the spectator side, before I was tattooing, I was always awestruck by conventions, but from the working side of things, it is really inspiring because you're constantly just surrounded by, number one, fantastic tattooists, and also when you're working, I think it's really nice to know that everyone that's coming around looking at your work is obviously a tattoo enthusiast. You know, working in your studio day to day, you do get a lot of people come in that have never had a tattoo or whatever.
Just
they don't know what, they don't know what they're looking at. So to be in an environment where everyone pretty much knows what a good tattoo is, then it's a really nice place to be.
Right, okay, great. And how did you come into tattooing yourself? Did you come from an artistic background initially, or did you kind of look at tattooing as your first artistic porthole?
Tattooing has been my last step, really. I did a degree in fine art way back years ago, and then did nothing with my art for about 10 years. I became a professional body piercer, so I had a body piercing studio for a few years, and because tattooing is notoriously hard to get into, and for some reason it didn't occur to me that being an artist I could tattoo people.
Right.
But in the last few years I worked at a studio that kind of started teaching me to tattoo, and then I was very lucky that the first studio I worked in professionally I'm actually a partner in, so I've had what I consider to be a really easy ride rather than a really hard slog apprenticeship. So yeah, it's very much come from an artistic background for me. I just try and use it as another medium, if you like, to be an artist.
And how long since your apprenticeship finished, or when would you term that your apprenticeship finished?
I've been tattooing professionally for 2 years.
Right.
That's how long our studio's been open. And that's, day to day sort of tattooing every day in the studio environment has been 2 years. The first time I picked up a machine was about 4 years ago.
Okay, so that's great. And so this year's been quite good for you. You've won multiple awards.
Yeah, I won a couple.
After just 4 years, that's pretty good going. So
I'm gobsmacked.
Yeah.
I'm really happy. You know, I push myself hard. All I want to do is the best work I can possibly do. And yeah, when I started tattooing, I was hoping for good things, you know. But it's happened so quickly this year that I've been a bit sort of windswept, really.
Yeah.
You know, I'm certainly far from being the best I can be, but I'm happy with where my work's going, definitely.
And what do you think the key is in the development of your own art to be such a quick presence in, you know, to win awards within the first couple of years? I mean, that's quite a big thing.
I mean, you know. For me, I know sort of when I first started tattooing compared to now, there's been a massive leap in my work. I'm lucky to have the artistic background, but I think that's played a massive part in my tattooing. I find that whenever I go away from tattooing and produce art in other mediums, I always bring something back that improves my tattoo work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working a lot with sort of colour realism now and portrait work and that, and I do a lot of that on canvas in pastels and oil paints, etc. And I find that every time I do something like that, it really gives me more ammunition to bring back to tattooing. I think just having an all-round grounding in art and experimenting in as many avenues as possible really helps my work.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much where I come from as an artist.
And in terms of your own style, how would you describe that? I mean, there's many labels within the tattoo industry, obviously, and they're quite standardised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say necessarily that you just slip into any, you know, solid one of those categories at all. So how would you describe your own artwork?
I think predominantly my work lies in realism. You know, I do a lot of portraits, whether it's black and grey or colour, but to me a portrait can be of a flower or an animal or someone's mother.
Yeah. So it's realism work.
It's realism work, which I think, you know, I never want to label myself or slip into one genre, but if there's anything I'm going to, if you like, specialise in, then realism's a massive thing.
Yeah.
You know, it can go down any avenue. I mean, I still do a lot of sort of semi-traditional work, etc., but I always try and inject a little bit of realism, so it's got my own style to it.
Yeah.
So I do as much as I can in as many different styles as possible, but I think my, not comfort zone, but the zone where I think I can really push myself is definitely within the sort of realism genre.
Right, okay, great. And the Real Art Studio where you work, what's that like to work?
It's loads of fun.
Yeah.
It's really laid back. There's no separate rooms for tattooing. You know, we've got privacy if the client needs it, but a lot of people describe coming to our studio as going to meet their mates in a cafe. You know, it's a very friendly atmosphere. I think tattooing in a studio environment, it's really important that your client's comfortable so they can actually enjoy the experience of getting tattooed. Loads of our clients know where the kettle is.
Yeah, alright.
And they will make the tea or there'll be trouble. But yeah, it's a fun place to do it. We've got 3 full-time artists and a couple of shop assistants. It's a nice open space. We've got paintings on the walls as well as all the tattoo art. And we've just tried to push the fact that it's predominantly a custom studio and that we are actually artists. We're not just sort of people don't pick designs off the wall in our studio.
Yeah.
You know, there's places for everything in tattooing. It's just that our studio is a studio that's mainly based around custom work because that's what we offer best.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's predominantly blue as well. Which
predominantly
is
blue.
A nice colour.
So if you like blue, Real Art's the place for you anyway.
Definitely.
Okay, and just what was the first tattoo that you got yourself?
The first tattoo I got myself.
Can we see it currently?
No.
All right.
It was a horrific piece of tribal.
Oh really?
How
did that come about? Like, why did you walk into that tattoo shop that day and get that tattoo?
I actually skipped school. I was doing my A-levels, and I don't know why I got that tattoo. It was one of those sort of I want to get a tattoo moments, which is exactly why I try and make people think so hard about the work they're getting done in my studio, because I know that I was a fool when I was young. You know, even at the age of 18 I made bad decisions tattoo wise, and it wasn't even a fun experience. A lot of my early tattoo experiences were scared the hell out of me, really, which is why we sort of tried to make our studio the way it is. I don't want people to come into our studio. If someone walks out smiling just after a consultation, then I'm doing my job right. You know, it's about the whole package. It's not just about how good the artwork you leave with is.
Okay, and just maybe a comment on the tattoo industry as it is now. I mean, you've been in it 4 years. Have you seen any significant changes just in that 4 years?
I have. You know, I mean, more and more, I'm seeing the vast array of amazing artists out there, and I think there's a real push now in almost the camaraderie of tattooing, if you like. What I said earlier about it used to be very cliquey and sort of, you know, there were friends within the industry, but everyone had their own secrets, whereas now I think that the big changes that are happening, along with obviously all the sort of different types of machines, etc., that are coming onto the market, that people are sharing a lot more with each other, with techniques and styles, etc. So there's a lot of crossovers happening, which is pushing artists harder to be at the top of their game. And that can only be a good thing, because at the end of the day, anyone who does a good tattoo, if they can pass some of that on to another tattooist, then the clients that are getting the work are just going to be happy at getting top-notch work, you know. So I think that's the best thing in tattooing at the moment, definitely.
Cool, listen, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the convention. And just one last thing, why should somebody go to Real Art?
Because we love what we do. Tattooing is what I do every day, and I will never change that given half a chance. So come get some work.
So there you have it. Okay, thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Take care.